So this video essentially is going to be on how we are to be.
So I just wanted to do a video. It's not really going to be something super new. That's why I restitched an old video I did in regards to John 13 and John 15 in regards to how, you lay down your life for the sake of the brethren, and how you're supposed to wash each other's feet and all these things. And I just wanted to share something cool that me and my family, we were reading. It was me, my mom, my little brother and sister. We were reading in Genesis today, and it was Genesis 18. And this is where, I think it's the 3 angels or something, or 3 men appear before Abraham, right? And that's also the chapter when he's told, in the time of life that he would be having Isaac, Sarah would conceive and he would have child and all these things. That's that chapter. And something cool though, that it's not a super big thing, but I still want to share it anyways, because it kind of goes back to John 13 in regards to washing each other's feet. So, and it kind of goes back also to, if you're a part of Abraham's seed, then you're going to do what he did. Because Abraham, he was a servant. He was a friend of God, but he was also a servant, especially in this case in Genesis 18, where the 3 men come and he's telling them to rest, so then they could, so then Abraham, because he's the servant in this case, could fetch them water so they could wash their feet, and also to rest under the tree. And I'm not fully sure about the part with the tree, what that could mean, but it kind of makes me think of in the kingdom, when if you overcome, there's these promises and prophecy about, every man will be resting under his, I don't know if it's fig tree or just tree or what, but it makes me think of that. So I don't know if it's linked back to that, so I don't want to speak on something I don't know, but it talks about with the washing the feet. And then he also gives them a morsel of bread so then they can get strengthened. And he even says, comfort ye your hearts to them. And then afterwards you can go on your way. But first, let me do this. Let me serve you. So, and obviously it goes back to the royal law. It does, because part of washing someone's feet, you share the truth with them. And that's what I basically, I say that in this older video that I did. The way how you wash someone's feet, it's by giving them the truth, because his word sanctifies you, it cleanses you. I mean, obviously there's other aspects that go into this too, but a big part of how you get cleansed, sanctified, and pruned is by abiding, but also by reading his word. You have to abide in the word as well. Meditate on his word day and night, the renewal of the mind. Right? But something that's interesting though is just seeing how Abraham's serving. And again, so while it does go back to the royal law, giving out the truth, giving out the gospel, all these things, it also, for us as maidservants, for the ones who've already entered into the work, it's also for us to go strengthen each other too, whether it's the sisters or even the brothers, being a helpmate, rubbing our brother's shoulders, you know what I mean? But it's also in that way, washing each other with the feet by exhorting each other, by sharing the bread. Remember bread, what bread means? It's his truth, because man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God, or however it's phrased, right? So it's also doing that as well, loving so when Yeshua is talking to his disciples and he's as I have done, you are to do as well. Think about what Yeshua did. His whole ministry, he was all about serving others. He didn't serve to himself. And he even said, and I'm going to butcher how it's phrased, but he who wants to be great among you, first let him be a servant, make himself least, right? That's how we're all supposed to be, by serving each other. Now, obviously we're supposed to serve, again, in the sense we do the royal law, we share the gospel, so that's also how you serve. But then there's also, even in the scriptures, it talks about with exhorting each other daily while it's still called today, because for one, we don't know, we're not promised tomorrow, right? That's part of it. But for two, the servant work is hard. I mean, you get mournful, you get tired, it beats you up when you're constantly talking to people and they're not listening. You know, it takes a toll on your mind, your body, and your spirit, because it's like it hurts in a way that it's like you can't even describe. So the way how you wash someone's feet is also by again, just being a maidservant to the servants who are already working. You know, so I don't know, it's not a big thing, like I said, but I thought it's something that was like, and even my mom, like, we were both talking about it with each other, like, you know, because we know obviously it's the royal law, but it's even deeper than that, because loving your neighbors yourself, while the bullseye of the Torah is absolutely loving your neighbors yourself, rebuking the sin and all those things, that's the bullseye, that's the main way how you love. It's also, you know, being a servant, and like there's different ways, you know, like, 'cause it's also like lending to the poor, and obviously we know what that means spiritually, in the sense like lending to the poor and all these things. Like it's just so much deeper than the royal law. So I don't know, I hope I'm explaining it right now in a way that makes sense. But it's also just like, so it's like if you're a part of Abraham's seed, I remember you're going to be doing the stuff Abraham did, right? And so what did Abraham do? He obeyed God. He walked with God. As we see, he was God's friend, but he was also a servant. And how is our Messiah? He was also, when he came as a suffering servant and gave himself as a ransom for many, right? And that's how we're supposed to be as well. Obviously, again, with doing the work, going out, sharing that truth, dealing out the corn and the wine to our enemies, but also serving each other as well. And I think it's actually somewhere, you know, now that I'm talking about it, it's making me think of in the book of Philippians, where I don't know what Paul says, but like, I don't know if it's something about not just like being about yourself sort of thing, you know. You can't be a selfish servant, you have to be a selfless servant if, you know, you want to make it into the kingdom. That's a part of it too. But again, I don't know if I'm explaining it well right now. I feel bad because I don't have my Bible, like, well, I have the CJB in front of me, but it's going to be worded differently, but I don't have like a KJV in front of me to read. But I suggest obviously to go read it, go study it out, see what he shows you, because it's like, it's something so tiny, but it's like still so like, wait, whoa, like that's like a big thing with the, again, washing the feet.